In your pocket, it might just look like an ordinary coin, but the 1965 Washington quarter holds a hidden legacy that changed U.S. coinage forever. It was the first of its kind, a bold step away from silver and into a new era of American money. But here's the twist: some of these quarters weren't what they were supposed to be, and those mistakes are now worth a fortune. Whether you're a collector, a treasure hunter, or just curious, this little coin has stories, secrets, and surprises you won't believe. Let's dive into the incredible world of the 1965 quarter. The 1965 Washington quarter isn't just any old coin, it's a turning point in the history of American currency. It might look similar to quarters from earlier years, with a familiar portrait of George Washington on the obverse and the eagle with spread wings on the reverse, but the story beneath the surface is far more interesting. This was the first year that the quarter was produced without any silver in it. That's right, before 1965, quarters were made of 90% silver. But in 1965, everything changed. By the early 1960s, the price of silver was skyrocketing. People realized that the metal in coins was worth more than their face value. This caused people to start hoarding silver coins, quarters, dimes, half dollars, creating a serious shortage of coins in circulation. The government had to respond quickly, and the solution came in the form of clad coinage. In 1965, the U.S. Mint stopped using silver and introduced a new composition, a copper core surrounded by a layer of copper-nickel alloy. These clad coins looked similar to silver but were cheaper to produce and didn't encourage hoarding. The 1965 quarter was the first of its kind, made entirely without silver. It weighs 5.67 grams and has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters. Though it maintained the same design as earlier quarters, it had a distinctive look, especially when you check the edge. On a silver quarter, the edge appears solid silver. But on a 1965 clad quarter, you'll see a noticeable copper-colored stripe running along the edge, revealing the copper core beneath the nickel coating. One interesting thing about 1965 quarters is that they have no mint mark. That's because, during this time, the mint temporarily removed mint marks from coins to discourage hoarding and collecting. The government wanted people to focus on using coins, not stashing them away as collectibles. So, regardless of whether your 1965 quarter was made in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, it won't have any identifying mint mark. Now, let's talk numbers. The U.S. Mint produced over 1.8 billion quarters in 1965, an enormous quantity meant to replenish the supply of coins across the country. With such a high mintage, most 1965 quarters are incredibly common, especially in circulated condition. If you find one in your change, it's probably only worth its face value. But, and this is important, not all 1965 quarters are created equal. There are some rare varieties and errors that make certain 1965 quarters extremely valuable. One of the most famous is the silver planchet error. During the transition from silver to clad coinage, a few leftover 1964 silver blanks accidentally got used to strike 1965 quarters. These rare transitional errors were struck on 90% silver planchets and weigh about 6.25 grams, compared to the 5.67 grams of the standard clad coin. If you find a 1965 quarter that weighs closer to 6.25 grams, you could be holding a coin worth thousands of dollars. These errors are highly sought after by collectors and are considered one of the holy grails of clad-era coinage. Another notable variety is the double die obverse. This error happens when the die that strikes the coin has a slight misalignment during the hubbing process, causing the design to appear doubled. For 1965 quarters, doubling can sometimes be seen on the date, the word Liberty, or the motto, In God We Trust. These double die errors are rare and can fetch high prices depending on their clarity and condition, anywhere from $100 to several $100s. In addition to these errors, the condition of the coin plays a huge role in its value. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale, ranging from 1 to 70. A coin with a grade of MS 65 or higher, mint state, no wear and strong luster, is significantly more valuable than one that's been through decades of pockets and cash registers. High-grade uncirculated 1965 quarters can sell for $20 to $100 or more, especially if they have exceptional surfaces, strong strike quality, and no damage. If you want to check if your 1965 quarter has extra value, start by looking at the coin's edge. If it lacks that copper stripe and looks silver all the way through, weigh it. A heavier weight could indicate a silver planchet error. Then examine the lettering closely with a magnifier for doubling. And finally, if your coin looks extra sharp and lustrous, you might have a high-grade SMS coin, well worth a closer look or professional grading. This coin isn't just about its face value. It's about history, transition, and a bit of mystery. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, always keep an eye out for the 1965 quarter. Because hidden in plain sight, it might just be your next big discovery.